Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into today's story, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that the majority of the time when I drop a story or a video, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you just don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're viewing or listening to this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience, this is the channel for you. If you like your 8, 12, 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kens TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, there is a message. Now, I don't want to contradict myself, the intro, if you will, that I just gave, because I clearly said I'm Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. But today's story may not be 30 minutes or better. It may be a little less. I'm going to start doing these pop-up videos throughout the day. But it's a real sad situation, serious story. And I want the young people to really, really hear me. I want you young people to really, really focus in and hear what I'm saying. Dude named Quay. I know him. We're not close or anything, but we're cool. We're cordial. We're not, have no problems or anything like that. But say about 10, 11 years ago, Quay was out. He gets caught with the banger. When he gets caught with the banger, that's handgun. Quay was already a felon for the exact same thing. He had previously been caught with a gun and I think some work, and they gave him, I believe he ended up doing like 2 or 3 years. Then he came home. Got his life together, was working, doing everything that he was supposed to do as far as, staying out, taking care of his kids, his family or whatnot, staying out of the streets. Quay gets pulled over. Police, the number one thing that they always say, we smell marijuana, which they probably did, to be perfectly honest. Gives them probable cause to search the vehicle. They search the vehicle. They find another banger. They find this banger. Second time he's been caught with a banger. No drugs or anything like that. They just find a banger. Quay had been out for a while. As I mentioned, he's doing everything he's supposed to do. He's showing the courts check stubs and showing that, hey, y'all, I understand I messed up, but I was trying. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have been, I shouldn't have had this, but this was my reasoning for having it. Past street beefs, they don't just leave just because I'm trying to clean up my life. The judge was moved. The judge felt compelled to give Quay another chance. So she probates him. Gives him 5 years probation. 5 for 5. If you mess up within 5 years, you go back and do 5 years. That's what 5 for 5 means. This second felony for the exact same thing. Having a handgun. Maybe about 9, 10 months later, let's just say a year. Quay gets caught up again. Gets caught with another banger. Third time. Same exact charges. Although I said the first charge was actually he got caught with a banger and some drugs, but nevertheless, that's the most serious of the matter, of the charges. This time, no. Feds step in. The feds step in. They transfer Quay from because like when you're in the county jail, if you're in a state pod, they have state pods, and then they have federal pods. A pod is a cell, basically. So once the feds step in and they pick the case up, they're going to send you over to the federal pod. Feds pick his case up. He's sick. Third time getting caught with a banger. It's a career criminal. See, they'll hit you with a career criminal in the feds if you get caught doing the exact same thing 3 times, and then there's other qualifications to be hit with the career criminal. Like, say you had a robbery and then you had a gun. Well, even though they're separate cases, but although those are 2 different charges, they consider those charges violent. So you're eligible for the career criminal. 3 felonies. 3 of the same felonies, 3 violent felonies. Quay had 3 felonies for guns. Or 2 prior convictions, and this will be his 3rd. Quay ended up really being very, very fortunate. They ended up giving Quay 18 years in the feds. Well, come on, Kens. What's so fortunate about getting 18 years in the feds? Well, he could have got a life sentence. Could have got 30. Could have got 40. 18 years, 3 guns. You know, I wouldn't want to do it, but nevertheless, that's what it was. You don't play with them feds, man. That's what the sentencing guidelines called for, and that's what he was able to get. Quay takes the 18-year sentence. I believe on an 18-year sentence, you're going to do right around 14 and some change. Roughly. I don't know exactly, especially now because they have the First Step Act to where if you're in the feds, you can get good time, but it's only on certain charges. And I don't know if guns qualify you for the First Step Act. Quay's in the feds for about 3 or 4 years and gets a call from home, gets a notice from home. His mom has had a terrible heart attack. Now, his mom was perfectly fine when he left the streets. No health issues, nothing of the magnitude. At the time when Quay left, he was about 33 years old. 33, 34 years old. His mom she had him kind of young, so she was maybe 52, 53. Quay had 2 other siblings. The brother, unfortunately, he had died in the streets. He was unalived. And the sister eventually she passed away. But at this particular moment, the sister was still there. So I guess I kind of put the wagon in front of the horse. Is that, or the cart in front of the horse? Is that what they say? Y'all let me know in the comment section if I said it wrong or if I said it correctly. But you all get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Y'all rock with me, man. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. As I mentioned, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Quay's in the feds. He's in Arkansas, I believe, at this particular time. Can't do anything about it. It's not like you can go to the feds and be like, hey, man, my mom just had a heart attack, man. Is there any way I can get a furlough and go home and make sure she's good? No. Absolutely nothing. So as I mentioned, the sister's still alive at this point. She's making sure that the mother's good. She was bedridden. And that was something that they thought that eventually, okay, she would come out of. She would get better as time went on. But as the years went on, she never got better. A couple years passed, she's still bedridden. 5 years passed, she's still bedridden. 7, 8 years, 9 years, she's still bedridden. Unfortunately, his sister ends up getting sick. She passes away. I believe she had cancer. She was in her 40s. She was the main one that was taking care of Quay's mother. There was no other immediate family members. Sure, she had, nieces and nephews and, things of that nature, sisters and brothers. But as far as the kids, I guess those would be considered immediate family members as far as the sisters and brothers. But as far as the kids, there was nobody to look out for mother. Quay's in the pen, man. He's going through it. He's sick. At this point, he's been locked up about 10 years. 10, 11, somewhere right around in there. That's an 18-year sentence. You can do about 13 and a half, 14 years before you have an opportunity to get home. That's a sickening feeling when you're locked up and you see and you hear about different things that's going on in the world and it's affecting you directly, especially when it comes to your kids or your mother, your father. And knowing that if you were out there, you could greatly help the situation, but being that you're not out there, you're in prison, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it whatsoever. Half the time, you can't even get anybody to pick up the phone. They end up putting the mother in a nursing home because she didn't really have anyone to look out for, being that the sister was gone at this point. She needed, what do you call it, around-the-clock care. They put her in a nursing home. Problem is, when she was in a nursing home, her insurance only covered so much. So they allowed her to stay for maybe a couple months. Not sure if it was an actual discrepancy with the insurance but I know that the insurance didn't cover her. And in order for her to remain at this nursing home, it was going to be an additional $4,000 or $5,000 a month. That wasn't feasible. To most people, that's not feasible. So guess what happens? Kick you out of the nursing home. She returned back home. She did have her own home. House wasn't paid for, but she did have her own home. And some of the brothers and sisters and some of the, everybody kind of took turns coming in, trying to make sure that she was okay. But she still never really got the care that she truly, truly deserved. Quay's on the phone. He's cussing his family members out. Man, you ain't been over with mama. Make sure she's changed. Make sure her sheets is good. Make sure that, she's not laying in her own feet. She's in her own urine. And they're going through it over the phone about that. But at the end of the day, you're the son. At the end of the day, you got yourself in a situation, a predicament, to where you're doing 18 years in the feds. Knowing that you have people out here that love you, you have kids. Although your mother at the time was perfectly healthy, that's still your mother. Who's going to look out for her? As I mentioned, they ended up sending her back home. And it just wasn't working out, in her favor. She wasn't getting better. They ended up calling in hospice. Quay was notified of that. His mother wasn't going to be around too much longer. And in his mind, he just felt so bad. He felt so guilty about it. But feeling bad and feeling guilty, what does that mean? It means absolutely nothing. See, intentions are intentions unless you act upon those intentions. So about 3 weeks or so, it was over. Quay's mother was gone. Quay tried to get a transfer closer to Kentucky. Actually tried to get to Kentucky. Think about the criminal system, the Department of Corrections, and the feds is not the Department of Corrections. It's the I don't even know what you refer to the feds as other than the feds. The Federal Bureau of Prisons, BPOP. BBOP, rather. Sorry. They move when they move. They move on their own accord. They march to the beat of their own drum, not what you need and what you want. You should have thought about this when you was out there toting them pistols. That's how they feel. She ended up passing away, unfortunately. Rest in peace to Quay's mother. And, it was just one of those things to where the people were stealing the money. The little money that she did have saved up, it's not as though she was rich, but, she had to sign over power of attorney. She didn't have any money. Ended up being to where the house, they ended up losing the house because the house payment wasn't being made. The money was being stolen. Money was being taken out of her bank account. Her check that she got every month was not going towards, paying the bills. Yeah, the lights and the gas and things like that stayed on, but they weren't continuing to pay the mortgage. The house was foreclosed on. And all of these things, as I've mentioned, Quay could do nothing about. I feel compelled to tell this story today because I want people to really, really understand the dangers that you're getting yourself into, the selfishness that you're getting yourself, getting your family, getting your loved ones into. People love you. People need you. They need you on these streets, man. And if you out here trying to run the streets and you don't have to even be out there like that, you get caught up. You never know when the feds is going to swoop in and pick up a case. Now look at you. There's nothing that you can do. I seen a video, P. Diddy, not too long ago, and he was on the phone and they had his kids and it was his birthday. So they were singing happy birthday to him and the little kids. And, he has like a little daughter. She has no clue what's going on. It's a situation where he may not ever see her again in life outside of those bars. All the money, all the power, all the influence that P. Diddy had at one point isn't doing him any good at this particular moment. I don't want to try to judge anybody's pockets, but I would go out on a limb and say the majority, probably nobody that watches my videos remotely is even close to having the type of money that P. Diddy has. That's just me going out on a limb. And he can't even get himself out of that situation dealing with them feds. That is something that Quay is just going to have to live with. And it's unfortunate. But there's lots of Quays. There's lots of people that's locked up and as I mentioned, they put themselves in a situation where there's nothing that you can do to get out. You just got to ride it out. Luckily for Quay, he got a couple more years and he'll have an opportunity to get out again, to come home. But he lost his mother. He had already lost his brother. He lost his mother. He lost his sister. Other family members just as well. Grandparents, couple friends. I get it that you already had, prior street beef, so you didn't feel comfortable putting your banger down. Never leave home without. I understand your mentality. 50 Cent once said, actually, he said it a few times. If I have to go somewhere to where I have to have my banger with me, I don't need to be there. See, when you're trying to change, it's people, places, and things. Those three things that they teach you. People, places, and things that you must change. If not, you're going to find yourself right back in the same situation or worse. So you had street beef, 5-6 years ago. Street beef don't just die down. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But as I mentioned, you just got to be better. You got to watch. You got to, keep your head on a swivel. You can't be all out at the clubs, all in the videos. You can't be messing with this woman and that woman. And no, you can't. You got to change your whole entire lifestyle. Sometimes you got to move. Hopefully Quay comes home. I'm non-judgmental. This is no judgment zone. I'm a 3-time loser myself. So who am I to judge anybody? Hopefully Quay, he gets this opportunity because that's what it is. He'll come home, get himself together, get him a job, keep him a job, get him a couple jobs, maybe start a business, get you a trade while you're in there, some skills. Leave that bag alone. And definitely leave that banger alone, because when people catch you again, it's over. You're not getting out again. You was lucky they only get 18, man. We got to make better decisions, man. Our people need us. All the time we doing prison time is, oh, man, I'm the one doing the time, man. No, people are doing the time with you. Your kids, your girl, your wife, your loved ones, mother, definitely, they're doing time with you. They're not physically there with you, but they're hurt that you're not a part of their life. Yeah, you're a part of their life doing the 5-10 minute phone calls. At least if he was in the state, you'd be able to, get visits and, feds, man, you might be way in California somewhere. Seattle, Oklahoma. There's no telling where you'll end up at. Now, when Quay gets out of the feds in a few years, 2.5, 3 years, he still owes the state some time. So he's going to have to go straight to the state. I think he got that 5 years of probation that he still had. They're going to want at least a year from him, maybe even 2. Just the situation that Quay put himself in. And again, I'm not judging Quay whatsoever. Just got to make better decisions, man. Got to be mindful that you only get one life, man. You can't keep playing with your life, man, running in and out of prison, man. Because life and time waits on nobody. Can you all imagine that? Can you imagine if you was in Quay's shoes, rather? And you found out that your mother was not going to make it? You found out that family members were stealing money from your mother? You found out that this house that she worked hard for is being foreclosed on because the mortgage was not being paid? And you can be mad. But ultimately, the responsibility falls on your shoulders because you're the son and you should have been there to take care of your mother, man. Once again, RIP to Quay's mother. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Young people, before you pick that burner up, before you pick that thing up at Chite, them switches and Glocks y'all like to play with, think about what I said in this video, man. Think about it. And people don't care nothing about you or your mother or your kids or your family in the courtroom crying, begging and pleading with the judge. Nah, don't cry now. It's your 3rd time getting caught with the banger. Don't cry now. That's how a judge feels, man. Real Kens TV.